In a truly unexpected moment, BTS's Jin silenced thousands of concertgoers in Dallas and moved them to tears with a single sentence he shouted with a trembling voice: a name. A name that was not listed in the setlist, not written in the script, and not announced beforehand. The question is, who is the special person Jin mentioned spontaneously on stage, and why did ARMY react so emotionally? That night, the concert initially proceeded normally, with a grand stage performance, flawless choreography, and warm interactions from Jin to his fans. However, everything changed when the final song ended. As the stage fell silent and the spotlight shone only on him, Jin suddenly opened his mouth and shouted a name in a tone that was hard to describe, somewhere between longing, bitterness, and extraordinary emotional strength. The audience was momentarily stunned. Some didn't immediately understand what had happened. But when the big screen zoomed in on Jin's face, holding back tears, everyone immediately knew this was not part of a regular performance. The name mentioned by Jin was not officially announced by the agency, nor was it explained by the artist after the concert. However, based on amateur video clips widely circulating on social media, especially on TikTok and Twitter, many speculate that the name shouted was one of the BTS members who was absent, namely Jungkook. If the name was indeed Jungkook, the question becomes more complex. Why did Jin mention him at the end of the concert? Was it an emotional code for something yet to be revealed publicly, or merely an outpouring of personal feelings that had been held back? Many ARMYs who attended the concert in person admitted to crying the moment it happened. "I felt like I saw the deepest human side of Jin. When he screamed that name, I knew he was missing someone," said one fan in a 45-second video that has now been viewed more than 1.2 million times on TikTok. Other reactions were equally emotional. Some said that moment was more painful than a farewell concert, as it contained not only longing but also uncertainty. So, why did this moment become so significant? As one of the BTS members who had just completed his military service, Jin has shown extraordinary resilience in maintaining professional consistency on stage. But emotional moments like this are rare or almost never displayed publicly by him. This is what made the shout so striking. It was seen as a leak of the heart from Jin, not the celebrity, but the ordinary human. The concert footage was then widely analyzed by netizens. Several fanbase accounts even slowed down the video, examined Jin's facial expressions, and tried to read his lip movements. Some concluded that the name he called was Jungkook, while others suspected it was Hyungnim, referring to someone emotionally close to Jin. The debate grew louder as HYB has not issued any clarification, neither confirming nor denying it. This situation raises a wave of unanswered questions. Was this moment a form of internal communication between BTS members that has never been revealed to the public? Or was Jin simply expressing a personal message he didn't want to explain directly? In the highly constructed world of K-pop, events like this are extremely rare and difficult to interpret openly without official confirmation. However, ARMY, as a global fan community, didn't remain silent. Thousands of comments flooded the video posts of that Jin moment. Many expressed hope that the bond between BTS members remains strong, regardless of current circumstances or distance. Some even reminded the public not to speculate too far. But precisely because there is no official statement, speculation ran wild. Was this a genuine moment from Jin, who could no longer hold back his emotions and expressed his longing through one word? Or, conversely, was this part of an emotional maneuver to create dramatic effect in a carefully curated concert? The public must remember that the entertainment industry, especially in South Korea, has a very sophisticated approach in crafting emotional narratives between artists and fans. So, should we immediately believe that the moment was pure? Or should we maintain a critical stance toward all information coming from the stage and social media? This question is not meant to diminish the feelings of Jin or the fans, but as a reflection that not everything seen is absolute truth. Especially when information comes from short video clips that are edited and packaged in a certain way, there is a high possibility of perception bias. Therefore, it is important for all of us, fans and observers alike, to maintain rational thinking in receiving every emotional viral moment. Despite all of this, one undeniable fact remains: the power of Jin's influence on stage. With just one name, he was able to shake thousands of spectators. With one unexplained sentence, he created a global discussion. This is the power of emotional communication that doesn't require long scripts, but sincerity and expression. And perhaps that is the unique strength of Jin BTS. He does not only speak through lyrics or long speeches, but through a single shout that breaks the silence and stirs the emotions of many. To this day, there has been no official clarification regarding the identity of the person Jin called out to. But one thing is certain: that name has become an emotional symbol in the history of BTS concerts and left a deep mark on anyone who witnessed it. For those of you who want to keep up with the most honest and sharp updates about Jin BTS and other important moments from the world of K-pop, don't forget to subscribe now, because the next moment might be even more surprising than we ever imagined. However, in responding to emotional moments like the one that occurred at Jin BTS's concert in Dallas, it is important for us to position ourselves not only as spectators, but also as critical thinking observers. Was that moment truly born out of Jin's uncontrollable emotions? Or was it actually part of a narrative strategy deliberately crafted to create a deep emotional impact among a sea of global fans? This question is indeed not easy to answer. But precisely because it is difficult, it deserves to be asked and reflected upon together. We live in an era where the boundaries between reality and fabrication are increasingly blurred. The entertainment industry, especially K-pop, is known for its high ability to craft storylines that are not only entertaining but also shape public perception. Thus, it is only natural for suspicions to arise. Could it be that Jin's shout was deliberately designed to spark virality and media attention? It must be emphasized that the information we gathered comes from various platforms: TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and online media that share video clips and emotional responses from ARMY. However, these sources, as we know, are not truth verification institutions. So, is it appropriate for us to immediately believe in a narrative formed only from short video fragments and scattered comment quotes on social media? More than that, isn't it very possible that those fragments have gone through a selection process, either consciously or unconsciously, to shape a certain meaning? Who controls this narrative? Is it Jin himself, his management, the media, or us as the public who collectively choose to believe in a certain version of reality? Let us ask further. Why hasn't the agency immediately given a clarification? Does HYB's silence indicate respect for Jin's privacy? Or is it actually part of a deliberate communication strategy to maintain public attention as long as possible? In an industry heavily dependent on fan engagement, every ambiguity can turn into a fertile ground for speculation. We also need to observe how this phenomenon unfolds in the digital space. Thousands of content have emerged, from lip-reading analyses, facial expressions, to conspiracy theories about the relationships between BTS members. Is this a form of affection and curiosity from fans? Or is it actually a reflection of public obsession that is increasingly difficult to distinguish from a form of mass surveillance? Not only that, we must also ask, are the emotional reactions that arise among ARMY truly spontaneous? Or have they been influenced by collective expectations that have long been shaped by the K-pop industry itself? Where is the line between empathy and manipulation? Are we truly touched by the truth of a moment, or because we want to believe that it is the truth? Of course, to question does not mean to doubt or belittle the emotional experiences of the fans. But by asking, we show maturity in receiving information. We are invited not to swallow every narrative served in an emotional package. On the contrary, we need to verify, compare sources, and understand the context thoroughly. As media consumers, we have an intellectual responsibility not to participate in spreading information whose truth remains unclear. Are you sure that the video you watched is a pure, unmanipulated recording, visually or narratively? Are you sure that the viral comments were not edited or cut to support a certain assumption? Being skeptical is not a form of indifference, but rather the foundation of healthy media literacy. In a world that spreads emotions so quickly, the ability to pause, rethink, and question is a true strength. Therefore, we invite you, our readers and viewers, to begin to get used to questions such as, is this fact or merely opinion? Is this the result of honest observation or emotional manipulation? We do not deny the possibility that Jin truly misses someone. It could be that the name he shouted really came from the deepest part of his heart. But shouldn't we avoid being trapped in a single interpretation? Isn't it important for us to open space for other possibilities, even if they feel uncomfortable? Until now, there has been no official statement from Jin or his agency regarding who the person he mentioned during the concert actually was. In this vacuum of information, wild narratives grow abundantly. Thus, you, as part of an intelligent public, need to ask one fundamental question: am I believing in reality, or am I part of a story deliberately created for me to believe? In closing, we do not intend to force any particular conclusion on you. On the contrary, we encourage you to take a moment, look more broadly, and think more deeply. Because truth, in many cases, is not something presented directly, but must be sought, traced, and tested through various perspectives. Thank you for reading. Stay critical, stay aware, and most importantly, keep thinking. Because in the midst of the noise of the digital world, truth is not the loudest voice, but the one most patiently pursued.